Hello, this is P. Andrew Sandlin, founder and president of the Center for Cultural Leadership, on a windy day in Northern California. Watching the students march today as a result of the tragic killing in Florida reminded me a great deal of the Cultural Revolution in China in the 1960s. The murderous Marxist dictator there, Mao Zedong, had gotten a little tired of the leadership around him, considering them a little too comfortable, a little too conservative. And so he urged the young people of the country, some of them children, to rise up in permanent revolution, which is at the roots of all Marxism, whether the original classical Marxism or today's cultural Marxism. And so they went tearing around the countryside, tormenting their teachers and parents, assaulting them physically, shaming them, pushing some towards suicide, calling large public meetings and indicting them, destroying hundreds and thousands, many thousands of lives. It finally burned itself out in the early 70s. Obviously, these children marching in Washington and these young people, allegedly over 300,000 today as I'm recording this in Washington, D.C., are not identical to the young Marxists. But at the root is a form of Marxism, which is the hatred of all hierarchies, the notion that the parents and teachers actually know more than children. And in this case, that the founders that established and passed the Second Amendment, the federal right to keep and bear arms, might actually know a little more than young people who have suffered, but nonetheless don't understand the full picture of what makes for a country of liberty. When that happens, I say, there is a root of cultural Marxism. The distinctly Christian approach to this is to recognize, of course, that sin begins in the human heart. And the confiscation of guns, or a gun-free America, or even a gun-free schools in today's situation are foolish. The problem today is a deviation from responsibility, as my friend David Albanson wrote in his recent book on the crisis of responsibility. And that's because individuals are not responsible, guns must be responsible. And because individuals are irresponsible, then teachers and parents and politicians are responsible for the extensive violence. Cultural Marxism is eating our country up. It's in the end in attacking hierarchies, not just the hierarchy of parents, not just the hierarchy of men and fathers and so on, but eventually it's the hierarchy of God and the creator-creature distinction. As it was said many years ago by a minister, it's God that they're really after. That's the issue today in the cultural Marxism that is sweeping our country. The solution to the problem, of course, is a return to biblical faith founded in the gospel of Jesus Christ, which recognizes both the love of God and the justice of God. Stand strongly, my friends, against cultural Marxism and against the erosion of hierarchies, against the attack on free speech, which is at root an attack on the gospel and an attack on God. Yes, at the root of today's opposition, principled opposition to gun control, is really an attack on God, though many honest people are involved in that opposition. I'm P. Andrew Sandlin, ChristianCulture.com.